Jewelry in Bastrop is the destination for commemorating the most special times in our lives. From watches, rings, pendants, and charms, to bracelets, earrings, and personalized gifts. As always, we offer fast in-house engraving to add that personal touch to any special gift. Mark your most precious moments with Craig's Jewelry in Bastrop, and let us help you and your family celebrate those special times.
Wheel to wheel, battle for the race lead. New race lead down the backstretch.
Here comes Jamie Berger.
It is night number 2 of the Advanced Auto Parts Summer Showdown Series, and if week number 1 was any indication, tonight is going to be something special. We welcome you in on Race on Texas, checking in on SpeedPass. Remember, $39.99, you get racing from all around the state of Texas into Louisiana. Even now on Race on Texas, you get a little bit of drag racing from the Alamo City Motorplex. So many things that are happening with Race on Texas, and of course SpeedPass, the driving force with that. And remember, as you check in, you can get that. You purchase that subscription, part of your money. Half of that money is coming to these racetracks. You subscribe today, you put down Cotton Bowl Speedway as your home track, or Texana Raceway Park, Heart of Texas Speedway, the Rev, whichever one of those that you designate as your home track on SpeedPass, part of that revenue is going to the racetrack. A very cool presentation, a very cool concept that Race on Texas has put together. What can we say about what we saw last week here at Cotton Bowl Speedway? The action was tremendous on the racetrack. We're expecting no less than that here tonight. Lots of cars in the pits. Thank you to Advanced Auto Parts for putting this phenomenal program together. We knew last year, coming off of the Summer Showdown Series, we knew that this series here in 2021 was going to be even bigger. In a 2020 year that was rattled with COVID delays and everything that you faced, it was still a huge success. There is so much money on the line tonight as we get ready to go into night number 2. We're still doing this one more night. We're back on August the 7th, so we still have time. Right now, going in, the bonus money is totaled at $9,344. That is in the pot tonight, as of tonight, in bonus money. Great folks. Gunslinger Ammo, ACM Services, Randy's Wrecker, Scott Mitchell Welding, BBFmerch.com, Alverson Motorsports, CRS and Speed Secrets, Keller Williams Realty, Advanced Auto Parts, Race on Texas, all of these folks that are providing all of this bonus money for this massive Advanced Auto Parts Summer Showdown Series. In this pre-race show, we will talk to Anthony Gordon coming up. Later on in the program, we're going to talk to Chris David. Of course, he is the driving force behind Race on Texas. We'll get some of the nuts and bolts, maybe some of the behind the scenes stuff of how all of this has come to pass with SpeedPass and everything that Race on Texas is doing, just evolving how motorsports is streamed in the state of Texas. All of that coming up. We take you right up to the green flag tonight to opening ceremonies, as it is night number 2 right here at Cotton Bowl Speedway. Going to be fantastic. If you haven't purchased SpeedPass yet, you need to. $39.99, raceontexas.com. Become a part of SpeedPass. You get action from all over Texas. Like I said, Texas, Louisiana, drag racing stuff out of San Antonio. Good stuff coming up. In this program, as I mentioned, we'll talk to Anthony Gordon. He had a good week last week. We'll get some details from him. We'll talk about All In Designs, all of the great stuff that he is doing for local racing as well. That is coming up live from Cotton Bowl Speedway in Page, Texas. This is your pre-race show at the Advanced Auto Parts Summer Showdown Series, night number 2. We're coming right back. that great dealership. If you're looking for a brand new Chevrolet or Buick, all you have to do is make your way down to Rockdale. Don't hit those big cities. Don't go to Austin. Don't go to San Antonio. Don't go to Corpus Christi. Head on out to Rockdale. It is Alpha One Chevy Buick. They are our pre-race show sponsor. We're joined here on the set. Anthony Gordon is here with us. Anthony, thank you for taking the time, man.
Oh, thanks for the opportunity, Rodney. This is a whole different outlook looking out here watching them hot lap up from the booth. It's definitely a different view from being in the cockpit.
Absolutely. So your thoughts. Last week it was up and down, I guess we would say. So your thoughts on all that transpiring out of week number one. We come into week number two. You got bonus money on the line. This brings a lot of guys out of the woodwork and out of other tracks to come on out and be a part of this.
It's great. You know, I've seen a couple cars roll through the pits that we haven't seen lately. And the track was good last week. We had a tough heat race in the Sport Mod, and starting 16th, I never would have imagined we could have got the win like we did, so that was pretty awesome. And just a little bit of bad luck with the street stock, but that's racing. You know, you win some, you lose some, and we're here again to try again this Saturday.
Talk about this place. I mean, this is Cotton Bowl Speedway is its own distinct animal here. You've got Heart of Texas Speedway. You've got the quarter-mile high bank there. You've got South Texas. You've got I-37. This place is just massive. It is so wide. It's high banked. Talk about how great this place is to race.
Well, it's different. It's a lot of fun. You know, we've been coming here a couple times a year since you know, the track opened, and we won the Street Stock Championship a couple years ago. And the track's just it's a good, fun track. You know, service is pretty smooth. H and everyone that puts their time into this track, they really they bust their butt, and it's great for us on the track, everyone in the stands, and everyone watching on SpeedPass.
Yep, absolutely. So let's talk about you with All In Designs. I mean, obviously that's your business. You do so many different things. You help so many race teams, but not only that. I mean, you're the title sponsor there of the Factory Stock Power Rankings, which is just such a cool thing. You do a lot of great things. What is your charge, your drive that really makes you want to grow this sport in the state of Texas?
Well, I mean, for starters, the whole factory stock thing coming together, they're, I think, by far the most entertaining class to watch on Saturday nights. And there's a lot of great drivers, and it was one of those, we wanted to do something with the class that we weren't involved in. You know, a lot of favoritism and people talk, and we just didn't want that. And I'd say it's the factory stocks, they're the class to watch any given Saturday night. You know, Dalton Faulkner's here again, and he's going to be impressive to watch. And as far as the racing aspect of it, I mean, it's hard to not want to be involved with a hobby you love. And doing the embroidery, the screen printing, the vinyl wraps, everything with the racing and outside of it, commercial-wise, it makes it fun. It's always different. It's entertaining. You never know what you're going to put yourself into.
Yeah, and that is All In Designs. I mean, just a great partner in Texas short track racing. Talk about so you've done them both. You've done dirt. You've done asphalt. As soon as we started talking, you asked about Houston. How important is it for race fans to? And it's something we'll talk about a little bit later on in this pre-race show. How is it important for race fans to just support racing? It doesn't matter what kind.
I mean, for instance, it's a great example. Alamo City Motorplex, they're actually a huge supporter that came on board to help me continue racing with everything we've been through. And that just goes to show you, it doesn't matter where you're at racing. I mean, a racer, a race fan, a supporter in there, they're going to support you no matter where you're at. And it's great that Race on Texas is starting to film over at Alamo City Motorplex. And it's I don't know how you describe it, because, I mean, you can talk to a fan here, you know, they'll be like, man, I used to watch you at Thunder Hill when you were growing up, or I watched you at San Antonio Speedway, and just, you know, like I was interested in how Houston went last weekend, and I think just we're a special breed. You know, there's not very many people like us, and it's definitely a disease, but it's one that's very enjoyable. Yeah,
absolutely. Lastly, let me ask you the special paint scheme. Alamo Hot Rod Parts, obviously we all know the connection there, just many, many years there. Just a great partner and friends for you. I mean, all the years there at Kyle, you know, that they did so much for us there as part of the management team there. Talk about those great folks and the sincere specialness of that paint scheme on the race car.
So Gordon Leland, he was definitely an example of a race fan through and through. He was involved with racing for 54 years, I believe, when he passed. And his love was drag racing. But he contributed to any type of racing from go-karts to Top Fuel funny cars throughout his time. And he was definitely a special part of my racing the last 10 years. And I did the Buck Fever throwback design a couple years ago for him on the street stock. And we're doing it again on the limited. And there's no other way to honor the man than going with his driving force, and that was drag racing. And the funny car was the Buck Fever car was the design that he won with a national event when he was drag racing. So we wanted to go with that, and maybe it's kind of bringing us a little bit of luck now.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's hoping so, man. Good luck tonight. Give it heck. I know it's going to be a great night. Lots of intensity. You can definitely feel the intensity right now.
Yeah. Speaking of that, last week, me and Tommy kind of got together and coming to the finish, and it just goes to show you how racers really are. I mean, we talked it out and shook it off, and we're going to go out there and try to put on another good race for the fans tonight.
Yep. Looking forward to it. That is Anthony Gordon, All In Designs, great race car driver right here, even better person. So many great things that he does for the sport of short track racing here in Texas. Coming up, we will talk to Chris David from Race on Texas. He is with us here tonight. We'll talk to him about some of the inside stuff with SpeedPass and Race on Texas. That is coming up. This is your pre-race show on Race on Texas, a Facebook Live, presented by Alpha One Chevy Buick in Rockdale. Number 2 of the Advanced Auto Parts Summer Showdown Series. Fantastic car to racing that we are about to embark in tonight. Last week was, like I said, if last week was any indication, be ready for some fireworks that we will see in Page, Texas tonight. Our pre-race show presented by Alpha One Chevy Buick in Rockdale. They're the ones to go see when you need your brand new GM. Joined here in the palatial confines of Cotton Bowl Speedway. This is definitely very palatial. You probably recognize this guy. This is Chris David. I mean, and it goes back so far. Chris, I remember when you raced.
Yeah, race. I always tell people I couldn't drive a race car, but I could operate a video camera. So
yeah.
I kind of knew what I was good at and kind of stuck with that role, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Chris, let's talk about the evolution of Race on Texas. How did this, I meid we joke about that. I always say, yeah, I wish I could have driven better, but I'm a better announcer than I ever was a driver, or whatever the case is right there. How did this come about? I mean, was it something that you said, folks that can't get there, I want them to be exposed to it? How did Race on Texas happen?
That's a great question, Roddy. And it started back racing in 2012, and my wife would climb the stairs at Houston Motorsports Park and operate a camera, and everyone wanted to see the footage. So it turned into uploading it to YouTube, and I finally said, we need a place to put all this footage. We need a home for this footage. And then we realized at some point we wanted to go live. We really wanted to bring the racing to the people that couldn't be at the track, and so we dabbled at going live, but for the most part it started as an on-demand kind of service and giving people, rather than taking it out of the 1990s where you just have to go buy a DVD or a VHS to watch your races.
Yeah.
So now we put it on a place where everybody can go see it, and it's digital and it's right there and it's in your hands. And then the live thing really came about because of COVID and trying to bring the SpeedPass and trying to really give back to the tracks and give them a source of revenue when maybe they have rainouts or they want to have a project to put together. So that's where it started in a nutshell. It moved a lot of fast, mainly because of the people that we have with us. We've got a lot of people that put this stuff on, so I can't take credit for any of that. It's the people that are behind the scenes, behind the cameras, behind the computers that are doing the work every week.
Yeah. So let's talk about SpeedPass. I mean, what a great concept. I mean, it's one thing to stream races or whatever, but so many of those dollars are going back to the racetracks. And I mean, Joe Spillman is here. He'll join me this evening. Lord knows this is not something that you're going to break the bank and retire on running a racetrack. I mean, there's rent, there's facility management, everything that goes into it. Talk about SpeedPass. That is such a great concept where so much of that money is going back to the racetrack.
Almost $60,000 last year, and it'll be well over $100,000 this year.
Wow.
We love to write checks to racetracks because if they're doing well and they're surviving and they've got cars in their pits and fans in their stands, we have people that are going to want to watch it. The bigger shows, the sold-out shows, we have more people watching those because they want to see the cars that are on the track. So it's important for us to help grow racing, right? And I know it sounds facetious to say, but Harry and I, who run Race on Texas, we both have really good jobs, and this is not a big source of income for us. This is a passion project. We love racing, and there's no way we could do this without loving racing. Yeah. So there's, other places I would rather be on a Saturday night, but actually I want to be at the track. That's why we're here.
Right.
So and so that SpeedPass program, just to help the tracks out, is so important. And I hear all the time. I've had some tracks tell us that we're their largest contributor. That's crazy to think about, that we're the biggest sponsor when they've got all the banners, and we don't want the fanfare. We just want to be partners with them and help them grow.
Yep. Chris, let me ask you before we cut you loose. So streaming now, it is such a, I mean, we're seeing IndyCar is going to be streamed. I mean, some of their races. It is just so important to racing now, especially on a grassroots level here, because maybe some people don't want to come to the track or can't come to the track, whatever it is. How important is live streaming right now for short track racing in the country?
Yeah, it's changed completely. I mean, you fast forward 2 years ago, and you might have seen maybe 150 live shows throughout a year. I mean, in 2019, we did 17 live shows. We did over 100 last year.
Wow, unbelievable.
So, and we're going to almost probably double that this year. We've got 5 live shows going on tonight. We had 4 last night. So it's important, and we're seeing it's bringing exposure to the sport. It's bringing exposure to the tracks and these drivers, right? Because we want to tell the story of these drivers. Having Anthony Gordon on your show here, that is important. These guys are the grassroots racers that we want people to get behind and have a following.
Right, absolutely. Chris David right there from Race on Texas. This evolution, this massive product that you see is something that he came up with, and now you know the story. Now you know how it happened. That's a race fan right there. That's what we all are. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit more as we inch closer. If you haven't gotten your SpeedPass subscription, get it right now. RaceOnTexas.com, SpeedPass. Click that link, $39.99, racing all around the state of Texas. Louisiana, you've got drag racing there now from Marion as well. Lots of cool stuff and more coming up. Lots of good stuff coming up. This is your pre-race show live from Cotton Bowl Speedway, presented by Alpha One Chevy Buick in Rockdale.
For those of you who've never seen the greatest the world has ever revered, I'd like to introduce myself. Let's go! I'm out here making them mad, cause I got it. Too good at being too bad, cause I got it. Stop reaching and being sad, cause I got it. I just got it, yeah. I just got it.
They're going to drag race to the line.
All sorts of action going on down the backstretch.
Climbing out of the car, your feature winner.
Tough pass to put the drive at the bottom of the racetrack.
They make contact coming to the checkers and trip.
From an old school racer, it's nice to see the racetracks.
Faulkner ball trying to move to the top of the track. And how about Shane Shirley on the restart?
Throw the red, get him out of that car.
Back live at Cotton Bowl Speedway, your pre-race show. It is Advance Auto Parts Summer Showdown Series night number 2. Thank you, Advance Auto Parts, for stepping up. Thank you to everyone for stepping up. We'll talk about some of the bonus money that's involved with this 3-race series. Bonus money to be paid out. You still got your track championships that are happening, but this is bonus money, Joe. And these are folks, as now I'm joined by Joe Spillman. He'll be my partner tonight.
It's been a while, buddy. It's been a while.
Man.
We've been kind of separated. Had some others.
Yeah.
You've been down south, Houston, and out of state some.
Alabama,
so Alabama.
all good stuff.
I've been kind of scattered out a little bit, so we're kind of gang back up over here at
how
Cotton Bowl
about this?
Speedway. Look forward to being back here. So
See if they let us back again.
this may be our last night. They may fire us after tonight. So, but yeah, it's been a good deal. This, I don't know how long this summer Showdown series been going. A couple of years, I guess. And we talk about all the money they've raised, but I tell you what, Aaron Bergott back there behind the scenes, he's the guy that's banging on the computer, banging on those sponsors, and getting that money together. And you've got to have that. I've run racetracks. I've been pretty much every part of the scene of a racetrack, and without those guys behind the scenes, you've got to have them because you can't do it all just, up on the front end of the flag stand or, whatever. You've got to have those guys. So, Aaron, give a big hand out to that guy because he is making it work, and that's where that extra money comes in. That's where the cars come in. Over 100 cars last week here in the pits at Cotton Bowl Speedway. Great racing all night long. And like we talked about, the track has suffered a lot of rain throughout at the most inopportune times. But I tell you what, H and the Stewarts have done a great job of making this track very smooth and very racy when you would expect in the old days to see some rutted up piece of junk racetrack with not a lot of racing going on. They've done a great job here at Cotton Bowl Speedway.
131 cars last week is what we saw. We don't have the car count here tonight, but of course we'll talk about that live on SpeedPass. So that's another reason. If you want to know the car count, you have to subscribe. So this is your free preview presented by Alpha One Chevy Buick. But just bonus money that we can talk about. I mean, at the end of the series, it's a 3-race series. Bonus money: first place $500, second place $250, third $150, fourth $125, fifth $100. $75, 6th through 15th is what you have right there, and that's some big time bucks for a 3-race show.
Yeah,
a 3-race show.
And it sounds like, well, $75. What's $75? Well, it's 7th through 15th, and then times 4 or 5 classes. That adds up over $9,000. I think you said earlier on. So it's a big deal, and I think that number will continue to grow as they take some of the money from the front gate and they have a math. I don't know. It's above me. I'm just a ditch digger, dude. But they have a way to figure it out, and it's going to be a chunk of change by the time it's said and done. So great job by Cotton Bowl Speedway here. Yeah,
Joe. One of the things we talk about people supporting racing, whether it be in that manner. But for folks, it's so easy. On my Revved Up Sports Show page, we were throwing out some questions the other day, and we get folks that get on there, and they just, I mean, they're pretty brave behind the keyboard. Oh, yeah. And that's very unfortunate just in this society right now that we see that. But I don't think folks realize that when we say supporting short track racing positively, sometimes that means not saying anything.
Yeah, and it goes back to the old adage your mom used to say: if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And one time I was on your show and I said, everybody's a gangster behind that keyboard. But when you have a chance to be punched in the mouth, all of a sudden you're not so so brave. And it goes to that. You can get behind that keyboard on a Monday morning or a Sunday morning or a Saturday morning if you race Friday nights and just beat the promoter, beat the track prep, beat the record driver up and down. But I've always invited people, come out here.
Give it a shot.
Come help us. You want to beat up the score? You don't have to do it. Just come up here and watch what they do. Come watch what the flagman does. It's very tough to do all aspects of it all night long. And sometimes the best thing to do is just enjoy what you got to enjoy. There's probably 400 positive things, and maybe one thing you didn't enjoy that night. Well, forget that negative thing. Enjoy the good steak dinner and forget that your water was warm.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So that's a lot of it. And we've had all this discussion about social media and is it killing dirt track racing? I don't think so. I think exactly what Chris David has done here with Race on Texas. I think social media, I've always said it could be a positive. It can bring the racing up to it. It can bring it to people. I can watch racing right now in Iowa that I wouldn't be able to watch without social media and without, all of the streaming. It's a really a good thing if we use it for that. It's like anything. If you use it for negative, it's going to turn into a negative. But if you use it for a positive, you're going to expose people. You're going to get them out there.
Right.
And then they might be the next guy out there in the victory lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. And we really take that to heart. Let's help these promoters. Let's give them a pat on the back. It's really okay to say that they did something well every now and then. So kind of put that in your back pocket and kind of run with it. Coming up, we'll talk about some point standings as we go into night number 2 here, the Advanced Auto Parts Summer Showdown Series, and we'll get you ready. If you don't have that SpeedPass subscription, raceontexas.com, you want to jump on, you want to get it, you get racing here, you can flip over and check out Texana. I mean, Owen's got his program going on tonight, so lots of stuff that you can do there. It is SpeedPass at raceontexas.com. We will get those points for you coming up. We'll put this pre-race show in the oven and get you over to live racing. We're live at Cotton Bowl Speedway, our pre-race show here from CBS, presented by Alpha One Chevy Buick in Rockdale. Back live at Cotton Bowl Speedway as we get set for the Advanced Auto Parts Summer Showdown Series night number 2. Still have night number 3 coming up. Put it on your calendar, put it in your smartphone, write it down for crying out loud. If you still write things down, it's coming up on August the 7th. Joe, this is night number 2. So now things are about to get really racy. We're I guess a quarter of the way in. Again, I'm not a math major, so that's probably not right.
It's 33.
It's close enough. 33%.
Go ahead. I'm just a ditch digger, but go ahead. But looking at the street stocks, we got Tommy Gurrell, who was last week's winner, and I found it interesting. I wanted to comment. Anthony Gordon said, me and Tommy got together, we hashed it out. And I've worked with a lot of racers. I've been in the middle of fights. 99% of the time when the two racers get together, one of them will end up saying, you know what, I kind of did you dirty there a little bit, or hey, you got one coming to you. But that's usually the end of it. What happens is you got some aunt up here that remembers you from Christmas in 1982, and she wants to kill the guy down there because he rubbed you the wrong way.
Exactly, yeah.
So a lot of times you let the racers work it out, and it will work out really well in the end. But so street stocks, Tommy Gurrell, I've talked a lot about him in the past. He's not going to be the guy out there blazing fast 2 straightaways ahead. But he's going to be the guy that's there every week,
steady.
Week in, week out. He's going to be the steady guy that gets through there. So,
absolutely, yeah. And this that right there, McAvoy there sitting in second, and Daniel Gaudet. You got to like this McAvoy. He is the last year and a half.
Been fast,
yeah.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. We'll see how that shapes out here in night number 2. So
yeah, Gunslinger Factory Stocks. That is always an interesting one right there. You got Tim Homeyer up at the top with 272. Storm and Steve Sims is right there. Dalton Faulkner is here once again tonight. Dalton Faulkner. He's chasing the money, but he comes in, and this one is always so interesting.
Well, Dalton Faulkner last night. I was announcing up at Heart of Texas. He was running a solid third there. The first place car moved his line up a little bit, and that took out the second place. Dalton was collected in that, had to go to the rear of the field, came from 22nd all the way back with 2 laps to go and took the lead and won it. So Faulkner in the 27 car, always very tough to beat. But Storm and Steve Sims, that guy rocking and rolling, he has always been around from the old days of asphalt, and then he ran the CBS stock cars here forever, then the factory stocks. He's a lot like Tommy Gurrell. He's just there. He's consistent, steady. He's not going to put his car in a bad position where it's going to get wrecked out, and he's going to be there at the end of the night.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. Don Cron had a fast car all year long. Seems to always have something silly or stupid happen. A tire get cut down or a tie rod break that shouldn't. So got to keep an eye on Don Cron.
Absolutely. There's your Design Welding Sport Compacts. Dylan Kowalik at the top right there, 10 points over Taylor Stewart. And Jake Hall right there. Always good stuff right there. And really nice to see that class continue to grow.
Lovely to see that beginner class kind of grow and get more and more cars out there. I just want to know, are they going to be able to combine first and second and split it down the middle?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's your Magnum IMCA Modifieds. You got to love those big mods. Derek Scott Jr. at 265, Chris Morris 259, Hardy Henderson 246. Hard time right there knocking on the door. Always got to love the Modifieds. Let's see if Derek Scott can hold on to that point.
Yeah, it's always good to see Hardy there. You could add those first 2 guys' ages together, and Hardy would still be over him. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's your IMCA Southern Sport Mods. G-Dub up at the top over James Honish. Joe Maple, steady Joe Maple right there with 247. This one right here is going to get really racy before we get to night number 3.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to catch Egbert, once they get out front, any Egbert. But Maple, like we've talked about so many times, getting some sponsors and getting a little help, getting faster and faster. So good to see those sport mods. I love to watch those guys.
Absolutely. We're getting ready to put this one in the oven. It is your pre-race show presented by Alpha One Chevy Buick. If you don't have your Speed Pass, I don't know what they're waiting on if they don't have it yet.
$39.99. Pick Cotton Bowl Speedway as your home track. Half that money goes back to Cotton Bowl. The other half, goes to all of this camera and all this gear that makes us look so pretty.
Absolutely, and we need really fancy stuff to make us look good. $9,344 as we enter into the night tonight. Let's see how high that goes. Night number 3 coming up on August the 7th, but let's not worry about August the 7th. It is tonight, right here at Cotton Bowl Speedway. If you can't get here, check it out on SpeedPass at speedpass.com. Thank you so much to Anthony Gordon for jumping on the program, Chris David for checking in. Joe Spillman and I, we're heading next door. We're going to do some play-by-play.
Play-by-play. I hope we remember how to do it.
Absolutely. We'll stumble our way through it.
The brown car's out front.
That's it. Number 7. Number 7's out front. That is coming up. This has been your pre-race show. Thank you to Alpha One Chevy Buick. We hope to see you over on Speed Pass, night number 2 of the Advanced Auto Parts Summer Showdown Series from Cotton Bowl Speedway. Have a great evening, everybody.